for discussion.
I mean, how simple is this? This is about adhering to the tenets of a grant that you and a board before Carmine and John and I got on hired CPL to enact. And we have one of our employees back here for 4 years working on this with everyone's knowledge. This is about paperwork. This is all about consolidation for consistency in billing and cutting down costs and paperwork. That's all it's about. And if we don't, this is the last time to get this done, then there's a potential, and I sent you guys an email, for us being fined and having to repay part of the $100,000 grant that we got in 2015. It's got nothing else to do about a commercial project. It's not denying anybody water. It's about an employee sitting right back here with less paperwork. It needs to be passed.
Why, again, did you and Greg vote against this?
Right?
Well, I had said it previously. I'm not a fan of doing things piecemeal. I know that this is a grant, as Brian pointed out, from 2015, and so the first question that comes to mind is, why on earth wasn't this achieved before Supervisor Albert was ever elected in the first place?
Doesn't matter. It's where we are now. And
Apparently I'm finished speaking. Okay.
But no, come on, it doesn't matter. This is where we are now. This thing has been extended and extended and extended. I agree with you, and I asked that question. We got it in 2015. Why didn't Lacola take care of it? And the answer that I got back were there were pressures that he was dealing with, and he just deprioritized this. So, thank goodness, Ozzie made it. And if you read the email, every district has been consolidated. This is the very last one. There's nothing piecemeal. This is about every single solitary one of them. This is the last one, or we have to pay back money.
That's not, well, that's not entirely true, because the Beacon Hills Water District is not going to be connected either. So people listening out there, we did a lot of this consolidation to begin with. The following consolidations were approved by the town board and completed. Bickerhoff Water District consolidated with all the mini districts and out of district. Dutchess Park Sewer, same thing. Roundabout Water, Roundabout Sewer. So we did probably about 80% of the work. There was 3 water districts left in Glenham, Blodgett, and Beacon Hills. Beacon Hills was not qualified because they had to bear a debt load to connect them to Glenham and to Blodgett. So a regular person watching these meetings, we've taken significant steps to taking the town from being run by developers and placing the power into the citizens, hands of the citizens of the town of Fishkill. And one important tool is capacity for water and sewer. And we learned that in the last 4 years, that if you don't have water or sewer, you can't develop. So the Blodgett Water District is at capacity. So if we combine those 2 water districts, Glenham into Blodgett, then we would give that Route 9 corridor an infinite amount of money to develop high-density housing in the future, taking that tool away from the citizens of Fishkill. My policy is to protect the citizens of Fishkill with all tools available. Some of the board members think we should work on behalf of the developers. I think you guys watching think I got the right idea and they got the wrong idea.
That's an excellent point,
I'm sorry.
Supervisor.
I'm sorry. What was that you just said?
I'm still
working on behalf of the developers. I'm working on behalf of the town of Fishkill on a $100,000 grant to reduce paperwork. You just presented this. In fact, that was totally incorrect what you just said. Infinite amount of water for developers out there. What are you talking about? You haven't read the grant. This is the last time to do this, or we get fined. And for you to just pass that off is just very irresponsible. I'm sorry. You want to go ahead and do that? Do that. But that's just irresponsible. It has nothing to do with developers.
Ladies and gentlemen, if we add water capacity, right now the Route 9 corridor does not have water capacity. They're finished. We have to find water for one project. We got to do that by a judge's order, and we're going to comply with that order.
That's right.
If we add a lot more water for that Route 9 corridor, which goes all the way to the Putnam County line, then the developers have a water source to tap into, and we can't refuse them that. He doesn't understand that.
I understand that you're twisting the facts, that this is all about paperwork. How simple can it be?
Well,
it's right here. Here's the grant. Okay, read it. Where does it say developers in it? Where does it say any other? It's about a grant.
That's what's going to happen if you do it.
Oh my God. So that's okay. Let's just get fined and have to repay part of the grant. Let's just do that because of this bogus scenario you're setting up.
What
These
bogus scenario?
things
What
are going to
bogus scenario?
still have their water capacity.
No, they're
They're
not.
still going to have their water capacity.
No, they're not.
And if the town needs more, and you know this, if any of them need more, all we do is work with the village on that. Why are you doing this? Why are you making this into a big deal?
Ladies
when
and
it's
gentlemen,
a grant about paperwork? Why are you
It's
doing
not
that?
about paperwork, it's about
Yes, it
having
is.
more development on the Route
So
9
angry.
corridor.
Right
Councilman,
here.
Go on, finish up.
Right
Yeah,
here.
I mean,
That's
you
all
can
this is
say
about.
that it's about paperwork, and I'm sure that it would make a level of convenience from a paperwork processing standpoint, but
God.
you cannot consolidate 2 water districts for the purpose of paperwork without consolidating 2 water districts from the standpoint of source and capacity. So
Okay.
the supervisor brings up what I think is an absolutely excellent point, which is that if we as a town board are as committed as we have said that the residents run the town of Fishkill, that the developers do not run the town of Fishkill, that we will exercise our legislative oversight over our water district capacity, over our sewer capacity, over the matters of zoning over which the town board has sole discretion, then you may say that this is, it's a simple question of paperwork and convenience. That's great. That's also incredibly short-sighted.
No, it's not.
I'm not finished.
Okay.
I'm not finished.
Go right
now.
ahead, but it's
I'm
not
glad I've got your
short-sighted.
permission, Brian.
Yeah. Go right ahead.
When you consolidate 2 water districts, it's not just a question of the paperwork at the letterhead at the top of the page when it goes out for billing. And my vote isn't changing. I apologize to anyone at the town, whether, that's in our finance office, if it's in our water department. Mary, I apologize if this does not make your life easier. I'm sorry. But we have to consider the long-term ramifications of the actions that we're taking here. We can, score a very cheap victory in terms of making paperwork easier, but if what we're also doing is taking a whole bunch of undeveloped parcels along the Route 9 corridor, which right now cannot develop because there is inadequate water capacity, and tying 2 districts together in a way which now provides more capacity, we are issuing a green light and a blank check for anyone who wants to come before our planning board and say, well, now I get to do this as of right. And we've seen the courage that our planning board is demonstrating. We've got planning board members in our audience tonight, and I know that others are watching at home. And I really don't think that they'd appreciate us hamstringing them and claiming that it's entirely a paperwork matter. Because I can guarantee you, when it's a developer and an attorney standing in front of them threatening lawsuits, if they don't get exactly what they want, it's not about the paperwork, it's about the people.
It's very interesting commentary. I just am curious where you got your engineering degree, because once again...
Where did I say anything pertaining to engineering?
Once again, there is no physical linking, there is no tying together. We're talking about consolidating paperwork and consolidating billing, so it's the simplicity. There's no engineering and piping and putting water capacities, joining them together. They're 2 separate. They're called one now, as opposed to 2 separate ones. And I don't know why you're shaking your head. You've never read this.
If you combine-
Okay.
if you combine-
You know what? Stick with your plan. Stick with your
Blodgett-
plan, and when we have to pay back money, let's revisit that then. And
Hey,
this
listen,
is irresponsible on your part. It's got nothing to do, and by the way, I don't know a developer, okay? And quit using that. I'm not about
Listen,
developers.
it should piss you off
I'm
because
about
the citizens
people of
think
this
you're owned by
town.
developers.
I'm about the people of this town, and
You're
you're
owned
going to
by the
cost them...
developers.
You're going to cost them money.
Ladies and gentlemen, you combine the 2 water districts, right now the Route 9 corridor has no more water capacity, so they can't get water. You combine these districts, now they can develop all the way to the town.
Has nothing to do with it.
Yes, it does.
You didn't read the grant.
Yes.
I have it right here. You haven't. It's just ridiculous what you're saying.
Not ridiculous.
I think the supervisor is a little disingenuous because he's inferring that he uses the word capacity as if there is no more water available. And the Blodgett Water District purchases 100% of their water from the village of Fishkill.
Correct.
So the village of Fishkill is in business to sell water,
Correct.
okay? So it's
What's this-
a little off
and we're-
base
and we're
by
at
you
that
telling the
capacity.
public that there's no more capacity.
And we're at that capacity.
Excuse me, John and Brian both sat in the same comprehensive plan meeting with me, where Mike Tremper told us that the town is rapidly and dangerously approaching its threshold of what is safe and responsible to pull from our local aquifer. So you can say, oh yeah, we can buy the water, until we get to a point where we're taking more out than is going back into it naturally, and then where will we be?
Okay. I don't know that they were, you know, that's another topic. We're talking about a grant here.
Now it's time to compartmentalize, sure, Brian.
That you're ignoring, and you're talking about some sort of engineering, connecting water. This is about paperwork, fulfilling the grant, so we don't lose money and have to pay it back, because I don't know what you guys are talking about, but you haven't read this.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've enforced the zoning laws in the last 4 years, stopping over 1,400 high-density homes coming to the town of Fishkill. This is another layer to prevent development if we don't want it. It's a tool. He's worried about paying back 10, 15 grand. I'm worried about you sitting in traffic. I'm worried about you paying the bill for a new school, another
I'm worried
cop
about
car.
your water being brown.
Yes. What's it worth to you? But you got 2 board members here that back the citizens of Fishkill, and you got 2 that back the developers.
I don't know a developer. This is all about a grant and paperwork. This is not about piping things together and giving one future access to water. You are fabricating crap, and I'm getting real tired of that, by the way.
Listen, every vote you have benefits a developer. You support developers.
Oh, my God.
You should support that.
You're just relentless with that stupidity.